Hello, everybody. I'm just making this video here this year, trying something new for the parents and the athletes who have missed the first day meeting. So I just want to kind of go overview for track and field. The coaching staff this year, I am Craig Western. I'm the head coach. We also have some other coaches helping us, obviously. We have Marcy Quirk doing hurdles and sprints, Matt Riley doing sprints and jumps, uh, Coach Dennis Grutenheis doing pole vault, Melissa Burkhart jumps, and Mike Emmel doing the throws this year for us. So the really nice part is we have the same exact coaching staff that we had last year. So for those of you who've been in the program, you have some familiar faces to see this year. I want to make the video for a variety of reasons. I've had a lot of parents in the past say, "Hey, when are you going to have a parent meeting?" Um, and for track, we usually don't, just out of respect for the basketball seasons that are still going on, the powerlifting that's still going on. They're in their postseason as well, and it's kind of hard to find a date in there without overlapping and kind of taking away from those sports. So I thought this year might be a lot easier just to put together a video for all of the people, for all the parents. And there's a lot of athletes who won't be able to attend maybe the first couple days due to other commitments. So make it a requirement to hop on and watch the video. I'm a huge fan of communication. I think communication is super, super important. And so getting a video out there and informing everybody, I think, is a big step into that communication piece. Obviously, if you found this video, you found our track and field website. On the track and field website, you'll see meet schedules, you'll see practice schedules, bus departures for when we go to our meets, locations. You'll see records and some history and a few other items. You can also order clothing. You'll see a clothing tab over to the right on our website that you can order clothing, and those that will be due on March 10th. Some other ways to stay informed and communicate. Facebook's a huge piece. And I get that the kids don't use Facebook as much, but again, I encourage them to use it. It's just the easiest way for me to post, information sheets, information about meets, maybe cancellations with the spring that we've had so far, or the winter we've had so far. As we enter, there may be some changes and some cancellations. So that's the easiest, quickest way for me to get that out there. So if you're not on Facebook or you haven't joined, we have a track and field page that I can add you to. So just go on Facebook and add yourself to that, please. Athletic.net is another great resource. This is where you'll find all the kids' times, distances, their performances will be posted on athletic.net, and it keeps track. So if you want to go back and look at previous years, if your son or daughter has competed middle school or high school, their numbers, their stats should all be on athletic.net. So once you get used to it, you'll find it's a really great resource, even to look at other teams and some of those things. Our entries are also posted on athletic.net. So maybe a day or two before the event, if you're wondering what your kid's running, you can look on athletic.net and it should be posted on there. So you kind of know what events they might be in for that particular meet. We start for our program. I really preach to the kid 4 team beliefs. I think trust, attitude, commitment, and respect. And I look at trust. I think you need to trust your coaches. I think especially in high school, a kid has to trust themselves and they have to trust their training. I think if you can do that, you're already at a great advantage. Attitude's a huge, huge piece for me. Positive energy every day to practice and meets makes yourself better and makes the team better. And so we're going to really preach, having that open mindset, hoping that positive attitude. How can you help the team? So many times I know we have kids that come in and say, hey, this is the one thing I want to do. Well, okay, great. We'll do that. But what else can you contribute to our team to help make your team better? Commitment, stay committed. Stay committed to schools, the schedules, practices, meets, and teammates. We are at a varsity sport here. For some of the newbies, this is a varsity sport, and we hold kids accountable. We expect you at practice no matter what, and that's part of that commitment. Your teammates count on you for training. And I think that's just part of the gig here. And then respect. Respecting when we go to another meet, you respect their coaches, their team, the grounds that we compete on, we help pick up. Respect goes a long way, and it makes your program an honorable one. Looking ahead at this year, we have to kind of explain this is more probably for the parents and I guess the kids. There's 3 really different types of meets that you'll see this year. You're going to see indoor meets, you're going to see kind of quads or tries, and then you'll see invitationals. and just kind of help explain that indoor and invitationals have limited entries. So there might be times where we only get 18 individual entries, and then you get relays. So obviously, if you have three kids throwing shot, and three kids throwing disc, that's already six. That's six entries. So, if you do the math, that means you got 12 entries across the board. So there's usually a lot of questions that come up why certain kids might not be competing in invitationals. And that's just because we have limited entries. Quads are much different. Quads are unlimited entries. We can enter a kid into a max of four events, three running or three field, and one of the other. So four total events. And we usually promote kids to max themselves out. If a kid wants to prove themselves or give something a shot, quads are usually where we try to just let kind of kids pick and choose. Invitationals are usually going to be where the coaches kind of make decisions, and they're usually a little bit more highly competitive. Um, indoor meets also limited. This year we added some indoor meets to our plate, so we have four indoor total, three kind of invitationals, and one's a indoor conference meet. That's new this year. They took away the conference relays and they added indoor conference. And so we will have four at Ripon at the Wilmore Center. So we'll get used to that. It's a beautiful facility, so we're excited to go there. The big thing I want to preach is just team unity. Each athlete, with team unity, I think that starts with being a great teammate, but I also think it's being there for your teammates. And one of the big things, and track's a tough one because it goes for so long, but it's just being there from the beginning of the meet till the end of the meet. And usually this every year causes an issue, and I'm going to stick by it, that you do not go home with a parent, or you don't go home early until the meet is done. That's after usually the 4x4. Again, I'm just a big believer in it. I don't think it's fair if a kid runs the 100-meter dash at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the meet, that they get to leave early because their event is done at 4:15, and the kid who's in the 4x4 has to stay until 8 o'clock. Where the other kid gets to leave and go home. And I don't think if the 4x4 kids are there to support the kid running the 100, I think the kid running the 100-meter dash should also have to be there to support the kids running at the end. And so we are a team. We show up together. I'd like us to leave together. Now, I get there's exceptions where sometimes parents like to sign their kid out. It's a Friday night and they're going north and they're already in Freedom. It just makes sense. And I understand that. But there's also a piece of I love the team stick together. And if that's at all possible, I'd like the kids to ride home on the bus together after the meet. So you will have to sign out. There's a sign out procedure. You meet with one of the coaches. If you're going to take your kid after the meet, you can sign that kid out anytime during the meet, but the kid cannot leave until after. Usually the kids take a team picture after the 4x4, and then they're welcome to kind of hop on the bus or go home with their parents. But again, you have to sign out so we know that you're leaving, and it has to be with your parent. It cannot be with a friend's parent or somebody else. So again, if there's any questions on that, communicate. Obviously, there's exceptions, with usually I bend the rules a little bit for school functions. If a kid's in a school play, that's different to me. Something school related is different. And also family emergencies, using common sense there. If it's a funeral or there's a family wedding, that's a kind of a big deal versus maybe going out to eat with, grandma and grandpa or something like that. That to me, that's different. Other than that, I guess that's my big thing from a team unity standpoint. A lot of parents ask, what can they do? And just kind of lay out a parent's role for you. I think just be an advocate of all athletes. Your support is loved by all kids. I know you're there to support your kid for sure, but I think be a Winneconne track fan. Get involved, see, try to learn what a good time is for all events and what a good distance is, what a good jump is. I think getting involved will make that more exciting to you. I think a common knock against track is, your kid runs one event and you have to wait an hour and a half for the next event, and people are going, "Oh, that's a long wait." I think just getting engaged, I think, goes a long way. It creates that family atmosphere and that team atmosphere. Focus on PRs above place. If I could give you something to focus on, PRs above place. Sometimes we watch and we go, boy, there's only one kid that's going to win. And what happens to all the rest of the kids? I think ask your son or daughter what their goals are. Their goals may not be what you think they are. I think sometimes we assume that all kids want to win, but that's not always the case. And that's what I found out my 14 years of coaching, that, there's some kids want to be the conference champ and state qualifier, but there's some kids who just want to show up, have fun, feel good. be part of something social and kind of fit in where they can. And I think as a parent, it makes that relationship better and makes that, when you hop in the car and you're asking, how was your time, or what, did you have fun tonight, whatever that goal is for them, I think goes a long way. And I think that's something that's underestimated just in sports in general. What does the kid want out of it? And then so that kid keeps that love for the sport and not getting that pressure from the outside. I think the other thing is help with balancing athletics, academics, and just kind of that social life. Make sure they're eating, make sure they're sleeping, make sure they're taking care of themselves. Especially as we enter track season, always kind of brings itself to the end of the year where people are cramming to get papers done. People are cramming to get, everything turned in and pass their classes. And it seems like it's always kind of a stressful time, and a lot of banquets, a lot of things spring up in May. And I think just to keep that balance for those kids and staying on top of things, I think that's where you guys can help. Sign up for home meets if you're looking to help. Concession stands, event workers. This year we have two for sure home meets. We have a quad on the 16th, and we have our big invitational Under the Lights invite that we share with Amro on the 18th. Hopefully this year we are not shoveling 2 feet of snow to host that invite. Right now it's not looking good, but hopefully we'll be able to host that in some nice weather. So, I get so many parents, and I'll put that out on Facebook, and I'd love for you to sign up and help us out, because that makes our life a lot easier. I don't want to go on for too long. I think it's pretty short and sweet. And usually the questions that people have, they'll end up emailing me. And so I don't want to address everything. But I guess in conclusion, we're off to a very snowy start of the year. We'll get creative with the work that we do. I've had already a lot of people ask if we're going to have practice in this. So we will do our best to find gym space, hallway space, weight room space to continue to have our practices. This year we have 28 girls signed up, 33 boys. I'm sure some of those numbers may not show up or might not be there on Monday, but I hope they are. That's 61 athletes. And the crazy part is 26 of those are in our program for the first time. So, just short of half of our kids are first timers in the program. So, it's exciting on one half that, we don't know where our potential is this year. There's a lot of question marks, a lot of holes to fill from the great seniors who left last year, but we're excited to see where we're at by mid-May. And hopefully, kind of do it the Winneconne way, do it the right way, sticking to those ideas of trust, attitude, commitment, respect, staying committed to the program and doing it well. Like I said, last final reminder, clothing orders are due March 10th. Get those in before March 10th, and we'll get that order in and sent back, and hopefully get our clothes sooner than later. And if there's any other further questions, feel free to contact me. Just send me an email. Your son or daughter should be coming home with a kind of an information sheet that we're going to run through on the first day of practice. And of course, making sure they have all their stuff in. Kid will not be able to compete if they don't have all their materials in. Again, that's being registered, their fee, their impact, and physical or alternate. So that being said, I'm sure I'll see you out at the track. And thanks for listening. Bye-bye.